Innovations. This is the two-piece bleeding heart live plant. This is how you get color in the shade. We're going to give you that white, which is called alba, and we're going to give you the pink. You're going to get two of these plants. There are few plants that give you such a gorgeous wow. Like these, flowers look like little orchids. This orchid-like wow in a shady spot. One of my favorite plants to plant in the shade.
Well, this one here, I brought this to you, Sandra, because my great-grandma Lisa had these out in her back in this fabulous shady area. She grew fuchsias there, hostas, and bleeding hearts. So this is a childhood memory to me. And the heart shape, the love of this plant is just through the roof. This is a shade plant. This is going to give you color. It's a perennial. It's like the college kids. It's an investment plant. It comes back year after year after year. It grows quickly. When it starts to get too hot, or if it gets too much sun, guys, the leaves are gonna turn yellow. It's not dying. It's just gonna go to sleep for the season. So don't worry about that. Sandra, do you see this? This is an actual bloom. And do you see the heart here, guys? And the little white coming out, the little teardrop coming out of that. These are airy, they're absolutely stunning. To find that white alba is extremely difficult.
Well, actually, I did a little research. That white alba actually in 2022 and 2023 won the Royal Horticulture Society Award.
Yes.
That was a really, really big deal. And so you're not going to just find that anywhere. So you're getting that white alba. I also like these because they're deer and rabbit resistant. So for me, we can't promise, something will never ever eat them, but I've never, and I live where I see a lot of deer every single day. I've never had deer eat my bleeding hearts.
No, not at all. Larry loves these as well. He has them in this back of his side yard where he has all the shade. And guys, think about this. Put this in the back, put your hostas in front, and how about your impatience? And oh my goodness, you feel like you have walked into the Royal Horticultural Society's garden, Sandra.
Wow,
and again, they're super easy. And oh my goodness, this is another BBB friend. Birds, bees, hummingbirds love this because the nectar content is so extremely high on this. They also grow well in containers. So if you want to grow these in containers, go for it, guys. It would be absolutely gorgeous to take and put the bleeding hearts and then put the potato vine coming down.
Oh, lovely,
or
yeah.
some ivy coming down. I mean, these are a delicate plant that aren't delicate to grow. These are so super simple to grow. Just give them shade, give them water. I would fertilize them about once every 6 weeks and call it a day, Sandra.
Okay.
But that beautiful dark green foliage. And then when those blooms come out, I'm telling you, Mother Nature, what God makes, Sandra, is just mesmerizing to me.
Look at this.
This is the pink. This is what you're going to get at home. Look at that, it's a perfect heart with a little teardrop that comes down on it. Isn't that gorgeous?
The bleeding heart. And they get to be a really nice size.
They do. They grow to about 25, 28 inches. And if you want to put them in the ground, go for it. You're going to get these, and they're bare root. So you're going to go ahead, follow the directions
Those
on
are
how
nice
to plant
bare
it.
roots. They're not all dried up. They look really good.
Every one of ours are just beautiful. And you're going to not fertilize them, guys, until you see green coming out of the ground, Sandra. So you only want to plant these down about 1 inch of soil on top.
Which is so nice because that means you don't need to use your dirty little digger to dig a giant hole. So for a plant that's going to be a really nice sized big plant, it's not a lot of digging. And just so you know, those bare roots that we're going to ship you, we'll ship them at the time that's right for you. So for most of the country that's going to get them, your bare roots are actually still a dormant plant in the ground.
Right.
And then they're going to dig that up fresh, they're going to prepare it, and they're going to ship it to you. So the plants that I order are actually still in the ground right now. This is not a bare root that's sitting out in some bag on some dusty shelf and you don't even know if it's dried up or, they're going to be really nice bare roots. That is absolutely gorgeous.
I mean, they're mesmerizing to me. And like I said, this is an old, a vintage plant. This is what I remember when I was a child in my great-grandmother's backyard, and this is why I brought it to you. you don't see bleeding. You can find all the red bleeding hearts in the world at your garden centers. The white and the pink are the toughest to find, guys. Again,
Which is why you brought them to us, because if we could find it at the garden center, there would be no point in presenting it on television.
no, not at all. And Sandra, you don't want to overwater these. Don't overlove these. They do go dormant. About every 2 years, you want to get your hory knife or your dirty little digger, and you're going to take and bring them up. You're going to separate them, and those 2 plants are going to become 4, and those 4 are going to become 8, and then you're going to be doing a whole side lawn of them. I mean, a sidewalk. I mean, beautiful up against the house. If you have a shady side of the house, they're stunning. If you have containers that you just want to leave out, plant the containers and get them going in the shade. And then guess what? You don't have to worry about them. When spring comes around, they're going to pop up all by themselves. And then watch out for those blooms. How beautiful. You know, Sandra, that orb that we sold earlier would be gorgeous in the center of this. You know, like,
wouldn't it be
absolutely
so pretty?
Beautiful in this.
There's that Alba white. 3 easy payments of $11.33. Lots of people are buying more than one. Makes sense. You know, as much as I love growing hostas, I've had a difficult time with the deer coming and eating them. So over time, I've been trying to replace my hostas with things that won't frustrate me when the deer eat them. And so this is if you grow hostas, this is a really, really nice choice, because you can start to replace some of your hostas, and they'll get about as big as a big hosta.
Oh, absolutely they will. And again, the deer.
And they bloom.
And they bloom. And
like the hosta flowers, who cares? But
you can
these
cut these and bring them inside. They make great cutting flowers
so
as well.
stunning for all
So
like the spring parties that you might be having, or
Oh
just
my
to
gosh.
put, you have someone coming to stay with you, just to put
Look
like
at
a
that.
little sprig of this on a bedside vase.
So pretty. I mean, again, guys,
They're
this
so
is
fancy.
This is a vintage plant. This is something that is very, very near and dear to me. I'm always going to bring you something very unique, and also something that is super easy to grow. And that's exactly what the Bleeding Hearts is all about. But again, I'm not going to bring you the normal. That white Alba, Sandra, literally looks like a light bulb at night.
I didn't know that you could get white bleeding hearts.
I'm telling you.
But then I had to look it up, and that's when I found out that it is that variety won in 2022 and 2023 a Royal Horticulture Society award. So that is a big deal in the world of plants, and I was like, oh, well, I want that too. And guess what? It's not that hard to grow. That's what's beautiful about it.
They're
So you're going to get a white, you're going to get a pink. Nothing wrong with the red, but you can probably find the red someplace else. You're getting 2 beautiful colors. And if you already have a red bleeding heart at home, imagine flanking it with a white and pink.
Oh, absolutely gorgeous.
So gorgeous, right?
I mean, get a few collections of these and scatter them through your shade garden. How fabulous underneath a big maple or oak tree that is totally shaded all day. And again, put this in the back. And then you can take and put, oh my goodness, lily of the valley in the front. You can take and put fuchsias in the front of that. You can even take and put the dwarf hostas all the way around it.
And and if there's some place that you have shade, because if you have ground cover because you have shade, like I have a whole area that's all bugleweed, maybe you have pachysandra or something, just plant that bare root among it. And then when it goes dormant, you'll still have your ground cover, but you'll have these beautiful things coming up from the ground cover. Look how gorgeous.
It's breathtaking. It is just, and it just is mesmerizing to me that Mother Nature made a flower in the shape of a heart that is absolutely, every single one is perfect. Well-drained soil. Do not overlove these, okay? You're going to take and plant them. You're going to wait until you see the green, guys, and then you're going to fertilize them. And then you're going to sit back again, and you're going to sit there and enjoy your little glass of wine. And then they're going to start blooming profusely on you, and you're going to go, oh my gosh, I do feel a little vintage here, but they're so pretty in the wind.
Beautiful.
And, you know, I mean, they just kind of go in the breeze, Sandra, and look at that flower.
Well, and I find that for my shady spots, it's really hard to find flowers. Like, if you have full sun, you could plant flowers all day long.
You can.
But for a shady spot to have a beautiful flower like this, a flower that to me not only obviously looks like a heart, but almost is orchid-like in appearance.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, our birds, our bees, and our hummingbirds love this because the nectar content is so high in it. I'm going to bring you all kinds of plants and flowers that the nectar content's high. Why? Because we need to keep our pollinators
see you over it.
going. I know.
It's like, where's Roxanne?
They're so pretty.
Oh my gosh.
If you do want these, don't wait. You're getting both of them home for $33.98. And don't forget about our one-time only price, which will be going up in about 2 minutes, under $30. Our planter on the stake with the lights.
So pretty.